when I first started in this industry, billers would pop up left and right, and people would go to one biller to another, and they'd process for 8, 9 months, and the billers would just disappear with the money and everything. It really was very much of a wild, wild west in the industry. All the way to paid, told our merchants, Segpay is with you. We're not running away with our money. This is a joint effort. So all the way to paid built confidence with our merchants.
You're watching the Segpay News Network. Today we're talking to Brenda Matthias about product management here at Segpay. All right, Brenda, thanks for taking time to talk with us. You have been around quite a while here at
Just
Segpay,
a little
right?
bit.
How long have you been at Segpay?
I started with Segpay April 15th, 2005.
So 20 years.
In just a bit, yeah.
And you said it's not a one-man show. In fact, it was a one-woman show. It was a 5-woman show for a while, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
What's it like to work for a company that is, I think Christy called it female forward.
Amazing. That's the one. I mean, when I go back home and I talk about this company and what I do, to be able to say that I work with a lot of strong women that know what they want, know how to go after it. And you're talking about a lot of type A personalities in this company. And somehow we manage to all work together
And
and we
you
do it well.
you do a great job. Now, you were part of the team when we came in and presented the logos and the slogans. And I think the second one that we presented was all the way to paid. And it just seemed to stick with everybody. What do you think it is about that?
When I first started in this industry in 99, billers would pop up left and right. And people would go to one biller to another, and they'd process for 8, 9 months, and the billers would just disappear with the money and everything. It really was very much of a wild, wild west in the industry. All the way to paid, told our merchants that Segpay is with you. We're not running away with our money. We're going to make sure you get paid as much as we get paid. This is a joint effort. So all the way to paid should have, and I think did, built confidence with our merchants.
Oh, that's cool. So let's talk about what your part or parts are in all the way to paid.
So being here for almost 20 years, I've done a lot here. I've done merchant services, merchant integrations, QA, customer support, product development, operations. So I've done a lot over the last 20 years. My focus these days is on our product side. So my role today is more about bringing the products to market that our sales reps can sell, our merchant services can support, and our merchants can use.
Let's talk about some examples of that.
So some of the most recent ones that I've worked on are our PayPal product, specifically being able to offer a solution for our merchants and our teams here to mitigate PayPal disputes. We wanted to bring something to market that allowed our merchants to have more control over their transactions, being able to respond to consumer disputes and feel like they had a part in the process. So we built a whole console out for them. Hopefully in the next few weeks, that'll launch to our merchants.
Globally.
Yes, it's global. So our merchants will be able to log in and look at all their PayPal disputes, be able to mitigate them, respond to them, and work with our CS escalation team to mitigate those disputes.
So PayPal, I think, is a game changer for Segpay,
Very much
right?
so was.
It took 4 or 5 years to get them to say yes. It wasn't
Yes.
easy, but it's changed the game in the high risk space, wouldn't you say?
Oh, dramatically. Dramatically. I mean, prior to us launching PayPal, PayPal wasn't really something that was in our specific space. And PayPal launched here February of 2020. So you're talking about going into the pandemic, people being home, and it was perfect timing to launch a new payment method. We definitely saw consumers going to it. They have faith in PayPal. It helped their faith in processing with Segpay and putting their information in, because now you're talking about Segpay being partnered with another high quality payment solution. And that definitely builds trust with our consumers.
Birds of a feather. You want to be with people that are trusted and you're trusted, right? And you help each other.
Right.
High risk merchants, it's not easy to process transactions. You need a partner like Segpay, right?
100%.
Why is that?
So when you're processing transactions on the internet, there's a lot of things, right? Being able to present a good payment flow to your consumers. There's your fraud and velocity. There's all the card regulations, PSD2, 3DS, all that kind of stuff. Building all that out yourself, it's costly, right? You need a whole dev team and everything like that. Why build all that out yourself when you have somebody like Segpay who has all the experts in those areas to bring those products to market for you and help you protect your account? That's where Segpay comes in, and that's why we are a great person to
Yeah.
partner up with.
It seems that, Segpay's approachable, friendly, professional. That seems to be a winning combination
You
in this
know,
space.
that was one of the things that I think we prided ourselves on when we started back in 2005. There was just a few of us. There's Kathy, Christy, myself, 1 or 2 other sales reps. We were available to our merchants 24/7, and I think that set us apart.
And now, you see Kathy winning Forbes 50 over 50,
That's so
women
amazing.
of influence, best women in payment processing. It's cool.
It is very cool. She's done an amazing job. I've learned so much from her.
And then, recently you guys have won, best places to work in South Florida. How does that feel?
It's great. I mean, when we post that kind of stuff, I have no hesitation to share it on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook, on my Instagram. I'm proud to be here.
Well, you are interesting outside of work to me. We both are dog lovers,
Yes.
but you're a dog trainer. You do some really fun stuff with animals. Talk about that.
Well, I'm not a dog trainer, but I, have performance dogs. I have 2 border whippets and a border jack. I compete in a sport called Flyball. It's a relay race for dogs. There's 2 lanes, there's 4 dogs on each team. They go down a lane, at the end, there's 4 jumps, and at the end, there's a box that has holes in it. It's spring loaded. The dogs run down, they get a ball, they come back, we pass.
When you showed me the videos, it was incredible.
I have an amazing team. I love my teammates. We're called Celtic Mayhem. It is an all-female team. We've been on ESPN 3 times. We've been in the top 3 in the country for a couple years. It's definitely a passion of mine. I enjoy doing it.
So there's a discipline to that too, right?
Yeah.
Just like at work.
Yeah. Anything you do, any hobby or sport or whatever, it takes discipline, it takes commitment. You can't get better if you don't do the work. So I think the kind of person you are at work carries over to your outside and vice versa, right? That competitiveness or whatever you bring to the table. I just like having another outlet to be able to be who I am and be competitive, and it gives you passion and balance, right? So you come in here, you work, you put everything you have into it, and then you still have another outlet to go and do something and be
Cool.
something.
Cool. All right, Brenda, thank you.